Hey everyone. All right. Today we are talking about something called the Rule of 72. Now, this is a rule in math it's a pretty easy one to figure out. And what it basically talks about is how long it takes for money to double based on a certain interest rate that they're getting. So, like if you invest money and that money is growing at a certain percentage, so you have an interest rate, how long will it take for that money to double? And the rule of 72 states that if I take the annual interest rate as a percentage and I multiply by the number of years for the money to double, it will equal 72. It's just an interesting result in math that someone found out. And so we can use it as a general estimate. If we rearrange this formula a little bit to look like this, so the approximate number of years for money to double, if I want to figure that out, it will equal 72 divided by the annual interest rate. So that's the one that we're going to use mostly, that formula right there, to find the number of years for the money to double. We're going to take 72 and we're going to divide by our annual interest rate. Okay. Now, the annual interest rate here's a little note. When using the rule of 72 formula, you must keep the interest as a percent. In everything else that we do, we pretty much everything else, I want to be careful saying that, but pretty much everything else that we do, our interest is converted to a decimal before we use it. But in just this specific thing, rule of 72, you have to keep the interest as a percentage. Do not change it to a decimal like you would for our simple interest calculations. So, with that being said, here's an example of a question we could use that uses the rule of 72 formula right there. So, the TD Bank offers an interest rate of 3% per annum. Remember what that means? It means 3% per year on their super savings account. How long will it take for money in this account to double? So if I have some money in the account and it's getting a rate of 3% per annum, how long will it take to double? Well, here's my formula. The years it will take to double will equal 72 divided by the annual interest rate. So if I take 72 and I divide it by 3, because that's my interest rate, remember it's as a percentage, it's not a decimal, it will take approximately 24 years for the money to double, however much money it is. Okay. Here's another example. So Diane invests $900 at 8% per annum, compounded monthly. Now that compounded monthly doesn't necessarily matter here, but it's 8% per annum and it's $900. Approximately how many years will it take for Diane's money to grow to $3,600? So we want to get from 900 to 3,600. Well, if we use the rule of 72 here, we can figure out how long it will take for 900 to double, which means it would get to 1,800. We can figure out how many years it would take for that. And then we can figure out how many years it would take 1,800 to get to 3,600, because that's another doubling. So first of all, the number of years to double will be 72 divided by 8%. That's my percentage. So it will take 9 years for this $900 to double. So if I set up a little chart here, for the amount of years that I start with, I start at 0 years, of course, and I have $900. After 9 years, I want that little thing to disappear. Go away. I'll just move it then. Apparently my mouse isn't working. Here. So after 9 years, I get to $1,800. And so if I want that money to double again, I'm going to have to get to 18 years, and my amount will be 3,600. And so basically what happens is my amount of money just doubles every time. And I know that because of the rule of 72, each time it doubles, it takes 9 years. So it's going to take 18 years for Diane's money to grow to $3,600. Those are the examples I have for the rule of 72. I hope that makes sense. You have an assignment associated with it that I've posted. So good luck on that, and let me know if you have any questions.